Morning, guys. Welcome to Football with Brownie. I hope you're all well, keeping safe, keeping each other safe, and spreading the love during this pandemic. Because we all need a little bit of loving, guys. Remember that. Before I go any further, please like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. And remember, it's free to subscribe, so why not do it? And also, we're teaming up with Alan and the guys at the Away Day April. Help you guys get ready, get your new clobber for when we all can go back to the football. Just type in Football with Brownie as a capital F, capital W, capital B in the promo code. Get you a 10% off, and the link will be in the description below. Now, today, welcome to a Cardiff City show, and here's Dan. Hi, Dan, how are you? GTFM?
All good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, my friend. Not too bad. I do apologise if I have red eye. I'm not the best of sleeps. But, according to newspaper reports, I don't think you have either, Dan, with a big loud explosion in Llanrummy.
Yeah, people out in the middle of a pandemic stealing cash machines. For the fun of it.
Oh, it's quality. Well, Dan, it's only one place to start, really, isn't it? Bournemouth. What's your take on it?
It was a good performance again.
Yeah.
Looked rock solid at the back. We did look a little bit tired towards the end. I think Bournemouth kind of took over chasing the game towards the back end of it. But I mean, we struggle there historically. So to go there, I mean, the first half was, we were pressing, we were doing all sorts of things that I've never seen us do. So it was absolutely fantastic to see.
It was a very professional performance from beginning to end. You are right regarding leg tiring. The substitutions were made then. McCarthy made the substitutions, and we had no option really. We knew they were going to come out of the traps quite quickly coming out to the second half, and I was a bit worried towards the end. And the last 20 minutes, there was backs against the wall, and but fair play to them. They were. I was getting worried because there were pointless free kicks given away, and to be honest, in quite dangerous areas. I think a better team would have punished us. But all in all, an absolute fantastic performance. Not many teams go to Bournemouth and get 3 points,
No, but I mean, you're right. Towards the end, I think Marlon Pack showed he's been good the last couple of weeks. I think it was him that gave the ball away for the goal. Started to look a bit slow and tired and deliberate in the middle of the park, which cost us. I think we got to a point where we were just bringing people down to stop the attack, because I think we were right up against him. But I think you're right, a better team probably would have punished it. But I mean, in the past, we would have folded under that pressure. So it's nice to see that we're on sort of an upwards turn and we can now deal with those things. Because I think 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, that would have ended up going from 2-0 up to 4-2 down, and it'd have been an absolute disaster. So massive signs of improvement.
Right. Where do I start with the players? Phillips. I mean, he, as a reserve goalkeeper, he's really taken his opportunity, and fair play to him, Dan. I can't see Smithy's actually getting his place back.
No, I think that's gone now. He's been absolutely fantastic. So he hasn't put a foot wrong. And he's conceded 2, 3 goals at most since he's been in. Made some fantastic saves again against Bournemouth. The one where he got down low, point blank range, got down low and got his arm out and kept it out. I'm not even sure how he made that save. But he's been, again, somebody else that's been sat on the bench and you don't see but he's come in and he's doing a fantastic job. So I think for me, he keeps his place. I don't see Smithy's coming back in anytime soon.
We go along the back line. Perry Ing, another fantastic, solid performance. I mean, I was talking to a few Premier League fans early on in the week, and because of the way COVID is, they kind of like want their clubs to look towards the Championship to get players rather than going to the French league, and you don't know what you're going to have, so on and so forth. I mean, if Cardiff didn't go up, can you see paying being for long? Because I don't know. I think it's better than this level, actually.
I can see him staying for another year or so. But I think if he carries on at the current trajectory, he will go further. I mean, we've absolutely mugged Crew there for a couple of 100,000 to bring him in, because he's absolutely fantastic. He's another one. He hasn't put a foot wrong since he arrived. But I'd expect to see him. He's still young. I'd expect to see him for another year or so. But I think if we don't go up, then he's certainly going to be somebody that's being looked at, higher.
No, don't get me wrong, Dan. I don't want him to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know, for some reason there seems to be a shortage of right backs even in the Premier League at the moment with some clubs, you can't look if you want to look at a Championship, you can't look much further than Perry Ing at the moment.
No, I totally agree with you. I think eventually he's got a future at a higher level. But as long as he's with us, I'm happy. I'd rather he stay permanently, to be honest. Contract now.
Keeping along the back line at the moment, then. Glenn Williams, reporter for Wales Online, actually wrote an apology about Aidan Flint. So is your apology going to be written out soon, then?
No, mate, I don't think so, no. I think you can only say what you see, really. He's been great for the last couple of weeks. I think he's one of those players that under Mick McCarthy's had a new lease of life. But look, let's be honest, before that he was absolutely awful, and even when he first came in under McCarthy, he wasn't great. But I think they seem to have sorted that back five out totally now. They all know what they're doing. I think it was partly a new system, confusing for everybody, and he just seemed to be in everybody's way, playing in the middle of it. But since then, over the last couple of weeks, he seems to have come good. But again, look, long may it continue. I mean, like I say, you can only report on what you see, and at the moment, he's playing well.
That's right. And Morrison, now, I don't know if you watch along, Dan, but give the ball away. You give a ball away, and it in the first half, and it went really dangerous. It was a dangerous opportunity for them. And I said, I still don't like him at the back at times, but I know he's going to score tonight. And he did come up with with that fantastic header goal. But I think, if I'm honest with you, Dan, I think there's flaws in all three the game of all three centre defenders. But because there's three of them there, they kind of cover each other, if you know what I mean. I mean, if it was only a pairing, then you'll have lesser chance of your centre half partner covering for you. When you've got two, it does seem to be more solid because of that. Would you agree?
Yeah, it works well. I mean, Morrison's one that I kind of, he's got a bit of a cult following. Everybody loves him, but I've always been slightly unsure of him. I mean, don't get me wrong, he can be absolutely fantastic. But then there's games where he just looks like he's not at the races at all. I think he had moments.
I think this is his level. Let's be honest. I mean, he's tried it before. The higher end of Championship is his level, and that's where we are at the moment. Sorry for interrupting. Go on.
No, yeah, no, I agree with you. I think he makes me nervous sometimes. I think within the first 10, 15 minutes how he's going to be. You see him give the ball away or have a bit of a nightmare, and then it kind of goes downhill from there. I mean, against Bournemouth, he gave the ball away a couple of times, but again, he scored. And when it came down to it, and we were backs against the wall, he stood up and captain's performance and led the back line. So I can't really fault him. He does make me nervous. I agree with you there. But as long, like you say, with the extra cover, it just looks a lot more solid now. They've kind of got into the groove of having those extra bodies there. So it does work well.
I mean, in all fairness to McCarthy and his assistant Terry Connor, who I know is a jack, and I shouldn't really, but they must have been working those three centre halves. They must have been drilling them on a training. It must have been constant every single day. Just to get it to this kind of level, surely.
Yeah, to go from when you think back when they first came in 3 weeks ago and he moved to the back five, the chaotic look that it had to start with, to where we are now 3 weeks later. Yeah, there must have been some serious work that's gone into that. But I think that's what we were missing, wasn't it? We used to go out to Neil Harris and there was no change, and you wondered exactly what they'd been doing all week. But it's just all positive signs.
And another player which I'm going to bring in is Josh Murphy. Now, we paid £11 million for him. Was last year, a couple of years ago now, wasn't it? And there's always been, I'm trying to think of a word, always been the kind of, people just feel let down by him, I think. Especially under the last manager. But he's been given a new lease of life under McCarthy.
Again, I think you got to remember, I mean, he's one of these players. He's like, the Glatzels of the world. He plays football a certain way. He likes the ball at his feet. He likes to run at people. He's been in a system where we're just launching the ball long. He doesn't get much of the ball. And when he does, everything's backwards or slow. That change of system plays into his hands. He's had an arm around his shoulder. Mick McCarthy's used his man management skills to put a smile back on his face. Yeah. And we're playing football now where we do get the ball forward. There is an opportunity for him to run at people. And you can now see why he cost that much money. I think we're all too quick to jump on people, but I think unless you look at the situation, like, I'm sorry, we got Glatzel scoring goals in a Bundesliga, but we're saying he's not good enough for the Championship. It's things that are outside of their control. But it's great to see. I love seeing him play well because he's exciting and he's just what we need.
Yeah. We got Dave in the chat. Hi, Dave. I hope you're well, my friend. And obviously, we can't not talk about the future Ballon d'Or winner, Kiefer Moore. Now, there's a Swansea-based reporter or Swansea fan who works for Wales Online, Dan, who, when Cardiff signed Kiefer Moore, basically called him a big lump, and he wouldn't get. Now, some people said he wouldn't get double figures or he wouldn't get in the 20s. Now, he's on 15 at the moment. Unfortunately, that tweet has since been taken down. And it just shows just what they like down west. We live rent-free in their minds, Dan. So, tell me about Kiefer Moore, your opinion.
Mate, he's been fantastic, haven't he? Look, I think we talk about us lumping the ball forward and we've struggled with it because we never had somebody like him. He is absolutely unbelievable at holding a ball up. The amount of balls he wins that are launched forward is unreal. Like you just don't see net is as well. He's not just a big lump that stands up front.
Yeah.
When the ball's at his feet, he can play as well. And, finishing wise, the 2 penalties, Bournemouth game, Preston game, like, I don't think I've ever seen penalties struck that well by anybody. You know, he's an international football player at the end of the day. I think we're very lucky to have him because, look, he could be doing a job somewhere like Burnley, in the Premier League. So we're extremely lucky to have him. But, to write him off and say he's not going to score goals, that's daft. He's done it everywhere he's been.
I thought you wouldn't be slagging off other people who are in the industry, Dan.
It absolutely kills me. If there's one thing you notice is I think it's Paul Abendato that works for Wales Online. He's a Cardiff City fan. Everything he puts out is pro Cardiff, and every single tweet is followed by Swansea fans clamouring for attention. Yeah. Oh, but we won 1-0. Why is no one talking about us? And it's like, look, at the end of the day, look, they've played well all season. They got 2 games in hand. They're only 6 points off second. Chances are, if they keep playing well, they're going to go up automatically anyway. Why are you clamouring for attention from Cardiff fans? Just move on. Be happy with what you got.
I know. David's come back. He said, if Wales qualify for World Cup, Kiefer Moore should be Golden Boot winner. Well, ways go, and you can't not say anything else, really, can you? I tell you what I like. That was the first goal where High Wilson, he's kind of really come on as well, hasn't he, under McCarthy? I know McCarthy dropped him, didn't he, out for his first game or two. I can personally see why he would have on a Barnes, because, just looking at the pitch was in a terrible state. It was raining and snowing in the end, I think. And it wasn't a football player's pitch, really. I can see why. But for some reason, he's been given a lease of life as well. Can you see him staying with us?
I don't know. Obviously, he belongs to a club a lot bigger than us, and he's playing very well. So if they can cash in on him, they will. I don't think he's going to go back to Liverpool and play there. But I'd like him to stay. I've loved him since he arrived. I think he was, again, another one done a disservice, dumped out on a wing, sort of struggled, and people were getting on his back. He was supposed to be the superstar. But, it's hard when you stood out on a touchline, not receiving a ball. McCarthy's come in. I don't think he necessarily dropped him. I think he was knackered. He played nearly every game. He sat him out for a couple, told him what he wants for him, given him his opportunity, and he's taken with both hands. But he's playing towards the middle now. He's involved. Yeah. He gets the ball. If you play somebody where they should be playing in the right position, you get the best out of them. And we're seeing now with Wilson, Murphy, several different players. So
we are in all fairness.
Right, I really hope he does stay.
Before we go any further, Dan, if it's okay, I just want to thank everybody who may be watching this on replay later on, or anyone who's watching it now. The Bournemouth Watch Along had the highest audience ever on a Football Brownie Watch Along. So I just wanted to thank every single one of you. I think we had something like 13 extra subscribers on that night as well. And it just shows that when Cardiff, unlike other football fan channels, it just shows that we don't profit on a loss. All right, so as Cardiff are getting better, the fan channel's getting better. So I just want to thank everyone for that. And David says, I think it'll be the Welsh connection, Wilson and Moore. I hope so. Because hi Wilson, I think he's come to be the point of his career now. He has to put his roots somewhere. You can only go out on loan for so long until you have to make a decision of what you want to do. I don't think you are right. I don't think Liverpool. I think it'd be open to offers now, but it depends now whether you would want to go to a top championship side or maybe a lower Premier League side. And I'm sure his agent would have a lot to say on that. But he has to start putting his roots somewhere, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to remember as well, he's done it in the Premiership already. He's proved that he can play there. I think we were fortunate to get him because, again, he's another one. He did it with Bournemouth while he was there. He's proved he can play at that level, which is why I think it'll be very difficult for us to keep him permanently unless we go up. But yeah, I agree with you. I think everybody wants to sign for Liverpool, Man United, the Man Cities of the world. But I mean, realistically, if you're a football player, you want to play. And if you're just bouncing back to that club every summer for a couple of weeks before being farmed out somewhere else, you know, I'm sure he would like to move on now and put his roots down. And let's hope, I don't know, we get a rich businessman with enough money to bring him here permanently.
Yeah. Philip is in the house. Hi, Philip. Hope you're well, my friend. And thanks for the message on Facebook as well. And Dave said, woohoo, going to pop up. Not A. The wine is later on, Dave. The wine is much later on, I tell you. I'm only an hour ahead of you, not 5. Right. Right, well, that's 6 wins and 2 draws now since McCarthy's taken over, Dan. And obviously, the media, it's caught the media's attention. Vincent Tan all of a sudden turned up on TalkSport, a few days ago, and I'm thinking, hang on. Where the hell has he been for the last 2 years, But obviously, people are putting 1 and 1 together, and McCarthy's been linked with a Celtic job. Now, he's not a favourite. He's not by no means is he a favourite, but he is a former player, and he is a former Republic of Ireland manager, and we know the links between Republic of Ireland and Glasgow Celtic. What's your opinion with that? Go.
No, I mean, I think he's 40-1 with the bookies to go. I think, with the greatest respect to Mick McCarthy, I would have thought Celtic have probably got their eyes set on higher priority targets than Mick McCarthy. Obviously, they're in quite a rough situation at the moment. They're about to lose the title to their biggest rivals for the first time in 10, 15 years. I think, I don't see it happening. What I'm most worried about is him being linked with that now rushes us into giving him a permanent deal at the thought of losing him. Which, I mean, look, he's doing a great job, but I still don't think he's the long-term option going forward. So I'm more worried that we're going to slap a big contract on the table and keep him here for the next 6 years off the back of this. But realistically, I don't see him going to Celtic.
No, I agree with one thing. I don't see him going, but I think that way it's going down, if we don't give him a longer term contract, then we're going to lose him in the summer. And I think if we don't go up this year, I think it's all guns blazing for next year. But we've gone through that with financial issues and everything that's going to kick in the summer. So we'll get to that another time. FIFA is in the house. Hi, FIFA. Hope you are, my friend. Right, next up, Middlesbrough tomorrow. Neil Warnock against his old club. They lost 3-1 against Bristol City in the week, who could have had a new manager bounce themselves with Pearson taking over there. What's your opinion tomorrow?
I think we know what we're going to get, don't we? I think they're going to sit back, block up the front of the net and just say, come at us and see if you can score. It's the way he plays. Look, we were horrible when we played under him. He's gone up there. They've had success the same as he did in Cardiff. But I think, look, the way we're going at the moment, you've got to be confident going into any any game against anybody at this point.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me is, I mean, law of averages, you only win for so long before you eventually drop some points somewhere. So you're almost kind of waiting for it to happen. The back end of the Bournemouth game was kind of, I was waiting for him to equalise and that to be the first time we've dropped any points. But I mean, look, I'm confident going into it. I don't think Middlesbrough are going to offer too much. I think the success they've had has been kind of off the beaten track, really. I don't think anybody expected them to be, where they are at this point of the season. So yeah, I'm confident going in there.
Mendes Lang against his old club.
It depends which one turns up. Then it may either be fantastic or useless. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. Even if he was on form, I mean, I think we got more than enough to deal with him.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, I'm confident. I think we can at least come away with a point, if not.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of a point. But then again, I was thinking a point against Bournemouth. Isn't it great? You know what, Dan? Football, as Jimmy Greaves used to say, it's a fanny old game. Saying that I think you may be a bit too young for St. and Greavesy. But football fan, no matter who you support, a game of football can always bloody direct which mood you're going to be the following day. And I'm not kidding you. After the Bournemouth game, I have been on cloud nine mentally, really. Because, I'll be honest with you, ever since McCarthy taken over, I know I took a piss of him the first few weeks, but he's really won me over, and it's probably the first time in many years I'm actually falling back in love with football again.
Yeah, I think I said the other day, like, it's the first time I've looked forward to watching games in I don't know how long, because we went through that period where it was like you're kind of watching because you got to, but you're not really sure you want to be there and you kind of know what's coming. But at the moment, it's exciting. You're like, yes,
it really is. Yeah.
3:00 Saturday. I know where I'm going to be. Even if I'm working, it's going to be on my phone next to me. It's going to be on the laptop in the background, so I can keep track of it. And it's nice to have that feeling for a change.
I mean, we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, bloody, because the fans ain't there, I don't get upset much. We had that conversation, and at this moment in time, I don't give a shit that there's no fans as long as the bloody you get 3 points, because I don't know, I haven't been as excited for following Cardiff for many years, and long may that continue.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it's going to carry on like this, I'll happily keep paying for a season ticket because this is better than anything I've ever watched inside the ground at this point. So
I know.
I'm more than happy for it to carry on in this vein.
Now, I'm going to say, I'm sure many Cardiff fans would be able to relate to, but back in the day, the football was. You go out on Saturday morning, you go to a black and white cafe on Penarth Road, and then you're outdoors Saturday, clubbing on a Saturday night, going home on a Sunday morning, maybe Sunday afternoon, maybe Sunday evening, pending if you're living with your parents or with your wife. But the football back in those days, the football used to be the worst part of a fucking weekend, really, and I just feel so bloody good watching Cardiff at the moment. That Bournemouth game has really changed my mentality, and it's just a shame that the fans can't be there at the moment, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's weird. It's kind of just, it doesn't matter how long it goes on. Every time I cover a game, I always say the same thing when it's on the telly to either my son or my wife, and they're weird to think there's usually people sitting in those seats. And it's been going on now for well over a year and it still doesn't seem normal. I mean, I think we'd all love to be there at the moment when we're watching this, because you know what'll happen. By the time we get back in, things will be on a downturn again and we'll be back to sitting watching drops probably.
Right. Now, listen, Dan, I personally think Cardiff fans and West Ham fans are very, very similar in their nature, as in, the working class element of how both teams or both clubs have been created and so on. The way in which both sets of fans haven't really loved the stadium change. And this other one as well is how both sets of fans can really get on their own players' back if things don't go well. Now, listen to TalkSport and I don't know if you know Moose, he's a West Ham fan, and he's come under a bit of criticism, whereas he'd come out and said that, West Ham only doing well basically because there's no fans there, so there's no pressure from the fans. The fans then come back to him and say, "Oh, hang on, you haven't given the boys praise, you haven't given the players praise. You're just trying to deflect the, getting clickbait because you're trying to rile us, really." But I can see a little bit, maybe only a little bit, and I'm gonna get pelters from West Ham fans for saying this now, but I can see a little bit of truth in what he's saying. Maybe he put it out in an incorrect way. We all know, if Murphy does a shit fucking run or leaves the ball run out to death, we all know what Cardiff fans are like. It can be a bit whingy at the best of times, right? Do you think that it's benefiting the team at the moment with their unbeaten run because the fans aren't there?
I don't know. It's hard to know, and it really is.
I know.
It's a really odd situation because when we've had good seasons and things have gone well, there's no better crowd than being down there on a Saturday. I think all clubs are fickle to a certain extent, and I think some fan bases will put up with more than others. I think it's really difficult. I mean, I've seen the West Ham thing quite a few times, and it comes across sometimes as a bit of just a lazy tickler, as an excuse to have a dig. I mean, they're up towards the top four. I mean, look, fans, no fans. I don't know what David Moyes is doing, but he's doing a hell of a job. I mean, I think you're right. West Ham fans are like this. There's always something to moan about.
Yeah. Oh, hey, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I used to give John Cornforth pelters when I seen him in a Cardiff shirt, and but they are very similar in stature, both clubs. But go on. Sorry for jumping in there. Go on.
It's hard it's really hard to put a lid on it. I mean, I guess you don't know until the fans go back and you see what happens. I mean, West Ham is, to be honest, I don't think it matters whether there's fans there or not. They're sat so far away from the field with that stupid bloody running track around the outside of it. I doubt they can hear them anyway.
I hear the players need an Uber taxi from a changing room to the pitch.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you can see why they're annoyed. I mean, I wouldn't want to go and watch football there. I mean, I understand it's a business and you want to grow and one thing and another, but I don't see any way.
They are absolutely sold out with the promises. And the main one is exactly what you said, because the promise was they will have extra seating, which would go over the running track to bring it closer to the pitch. I think. What's other one done that now? Maybe Man City at the Etihad, maybe because when it was Commonwealth Games.
Yeah,
I think something like that. I know it. I just wanted to put it out there, really, Dan. Hi, James, by the way. I hope you're well, my friend. I just want to put it out there because whilst I completely understand West Ham fans were really riled at it, apparently TalkSport Switchboard was going crazy when he was saying it. But I can see what he was trying to get at. You know, but the old days on a bob bank, you'd be in the front of a bob bank, and whoever was, you know, on the bob bank side down the wing, if they didn't have a good game, they'd have bloody pelters off the home fans. I tell you, you know.
Yeah, there's certainly something to it. I think a lot of it though is like they're not the first club that have been mentioned. You know, you see it on Match of the Day all the time. Or this team are benefiting from an empty stadium. And I mean, sometimes I think it's just the media poking you with a big stick to get a reaction. You know, like you say, TalkSport then take hundreds of phone calls. The advertising goes up because more people are listening. So I always think of it with a pinch of salt. You know, I always try and be honest. If I say something, it's because it's what I genuinely think. I try not to just poke people and antagonize people, but you do see it a lot, you know, in the mainstream media with advertising money sort of rules the roost.
Hey, you see it on my Twitter line. Don't worry about that. Right, just one more thing as well, man, is Boris Johnson has given a possible date of what, 20... the last week works out the last week of the season, doesn't it? The last week of the Premier League season, I suppose. You'll have to tell me more about this because I'm over here, aren't I? So, no budging in a way with Drakeford at the moment regarding that, man.
No, not at the moment. I mean, it's a bit confusing now because I think England, from the last thing I saw, are planning on basically reopening for business pretty soon. Sort of shops and things, and we're now in the midst of another 3-week lockdown at the moment with everything still shut. Some of the kids have gone back to school here. I think there are plans over sort of after this 3 weeks to start maybe opening a few other things. But I get the distinct impression the sport is last on the list in Wales. Everything else is coming before it, whether you think rightly or wrongly. But I mean, I don't see us being in a stadium this season at all here. If I'm totally honest, I mean, it's not looking good. But hopefully the start of next season we'll have some sort of movement on it.
You know where I'm going to come from now, don't you? You know where I'm going, because I'm thinking Cardiff Swansea playoff final at Wembley.
Sorry, mate, I lost you there.
No worries. I'm thinking the Cardiff Swansea playoff final at Wembley. Sorry,
your internet connected. I missed that.
I didn't know if it was mine or yours. No, I'm saying I'm thinking Swansea Cardiff playoff final at Wembley.
Yeah, I think that would be absolute chaos. I think half of Wales would leave to go. It's such a weird situation. I mean, even outside of football, it's just odd, isn't it? I mean, like, doing things in different ways at different times just leads to confusion, and it leads to, as soon as England opens, I mean, and you can go get a meal in Bristol or Swindon, people just start going there to do it from Wales. I mean, it happened last time. You know, I went and did my Christmas shopping in Swindon because there was nothing open here and I didn't have anything. And you get there and the first thing people are saying is, God, there's lots of people with Welsh accents here today. And it's like, well, you know, we're locked down and there's no end in sight to it. So
that's what it's like over here at the moment. I mean, from tonight, or was it last night? I need to double check. Basically, there's different like regions within a region, if you know what I mean. Like I suppose, because much larger scale. But if you think of like South Wales, you've got Mid Glamorgan, South Glamorgan, Gwent, and all that. Basically, that's what it's like here. And now, from tonight or last night, we've been allowed to go into the different areas within our region. And they, up until last night, it was only the ones under a certain amount of cases in an area in which you could you could open, and then all of a sudden, like the smaller ones, which had like 300 cases or whatever, all of a sudden the bars were jam packed because everyone was sneaking over. It can't be policed. It can't be policed. But one thing's for sure, if I could be doing a watch along, if just me in an empty Wembley Stadium, then come me if I can fly over from you. No worries. Listen. Let's get 3 points tomorrow and look forward to another happy Sunday morning, I think, Dan.
Yeah, hopefully. Confident this week. Very confident.
Hang on. Let's double check. Dave said Magic Cardiff. Well, you know what? We need to beat. Well, as long as we don't lose, we can't do the double over us, Dan. First time ever one team would do a double over the other in the South Wales derby. No chance. FIFA, who does he support? Who do you support, Dan?
Well, Cardiff City. And my wife support Everton as well.
Yeah, no worries. And Randy's in the house as well. Hi, Randy. Hope you well. Hope New Zealand is well as well. And Dan, where can people find you?
Same as always, mate, on Twitter, DJB Football. Plenty of work and things coming out over the next few weeks. I'll be doing a few Italian games and stuff, as well as all the City rants and rambles.
Yeah, no worries at all. And, just before we go, I hate doing this. Right, there you go. Look down to the banner. Please like, share, and subscribe. Football Brownie. That's my YouTube. That's my Twitter handle. Facebook as well. Oh, on about Facebook, Dan. Just one. Were you old enough to remember Vinnie Jones, captain of Wales?
Vaguely, yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. No problem. I put something out on Facebook overnight, and it was Vinnie Jones. How the hell was he wearing a Welsh shirt, and how, even worse, how was he captain? Right now, to me, I just thought that'd be easier. Easy to understand. I didn't rate his ability. I definitely didn't rate his ability for being captain as well. But the amount of people who's come back to me and said, well, he played for Wales. His surname is Jones. What do you expect? I'm thinking, no, I don't mean his qualifications for the fucking job. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't mean how does he. People are just so fucking thick. Do you know what I mean? They say, how did he wear the Welsh shirt? I mean, his ability was shite. I don't know how he got to international level. Where people come back to me and say, well, he wore a Welsh shirt because his surname's fucking Jones. I'm thinking, for fuck's sake, I can't be done with half of these people. Do you know what I mean? And we both got a soft spot for Everton, Randy. I'm sure you've heard me talk about Everton before. James hard as fuck for what he was. Well, he was. I mean, in the 88 FA Cup final, he smashed Steve McMahon. Steve McMahon, he was very quiet during that game, but in all fairness, he just got up, no problem at all. I'm actually going to do a video regarding Vinnie Jones in the next few days, I think. Dan, many thanks for joining. If you're around tomorrow, I don't know what your work details of tomorrow. If you want to come in on halftime or something.
Yeah, send me the link over, mate, and I'll try and jump in between work.
Yeah, no worries at all. And hang on, one more thing as well. Right, this bloody thing with Cardiff City TV. Now, I've got a gripe with Cardiff City TV, as you know, yeah. Right? Now, I was told that it was on the red button.
Yes.
That game against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So, wasn't I not supposed to be able to watch it then?
I think it only applies to the main fixture that's being shown live.
Right, okay.
Not it doesn't happen all the time. It's usually midweek that you'll have a red button option, and there's either a selection or the rest of the games are available to pick up as well. But I think it only applies to the game that's being shown on the main channel as their live production for the day.
Right, okay. Well, I still got a gripe with the bastards anyway. Never mind. Dan, many thanks, and speak to you tomorrow, hopefully.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Take care. Bye-bye.